All right. It's the Cares None Be Dope podcast. I am your host, Chris Cares None, and I have a special guest today, Marty Rinehart, everybody. Marty, how you doing, baby?
I'm all right, man. I applaud you, man.
We finally got you on, man.
Yeah, I'm here. I found it. Found my way.
We saw each other. We ran into each other probably a little, maybe 2-3 years ago. But there was definitely a time at where's that bar in Schaumburg that we what's that shit called that everyone was going to? Coach House.
Coach House.
We ran each other at Coach House, and we had an epic conversation, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, that was Michael's birthday.
Was that Mac's birthday?
That was Mac's birthday.
Okay, yeah. And then I remember thinking, and we just vibed hard, and then we were on some of the same shit, which we're going to talk about in this episode. And I'm like, dude, you got to get on the pod. And you were like, dude, let's do it. So you're here, baby.
All right. Thanks for having me, brother.
All right. So let's talk about, tell people what it is exactly. Who is Marty Rinehart in your words?
Wow. All right. Here we go. Let's throw it right at me, huh? We're jumping
right in. Right in the deep end, baby. Fuck it.
That's how I'd like to roll, man. Marty Rinehart is somebody who loves people deeply. I care about others. I have a brilliant, amazing support system of family, friends, and just so much love I receive daily from all the people I know and care about. And it fuels me, man. I do what I do. I work as hard as I do, and I hope that sharing my story and sharing my successes and wins and struggles, and just being a real, authentic, vulnerable human person will help inspire others and get others to commit to themselves, bettering themselves, and obtaining their infinite potential, which we all have, and just creating something that they are proud of, a life that brings them much fulfillment and health, man.
What about what is it that you actually do?
Not much.
What brings you income?
What brings me
so
income?
Where's your expertise at the moment? Your biggest expertise?
I'm in real estate, brother.
There you go.
That's
what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
I'm trying to let you say it, bro.
No, man,
and you're killing it though.
Yeah, I'm killing it. But
weren't you a top 20 something, under 20? You were something vicious recently. What was that?
No, I actually didn't achieve that specific award.
Were you in the running?
I was in the running, I would say. If it was up to me, there would be, a few people in there that I know of that I believe are top 1 or to 5 agents in the entire country. Some of the people that I work with, collaborate with, and call way too often when I need support and when I need help, on maybe new perspective with my clients, stuff like that. So, yeah, man, it's, I don't know, it was what it was. I didn't get it, but I've had a very, very fulfilling and successful career, and it's an honor and blessing to be chosen by the people I love to support them in one of the craziest, most substantially large financial decision and investment that they're going to make in their entire lives, and just help them get the best possible home that they're going to love to live in.
Now, let me ask you this, because I like to give a little bit of value to the people listening. If you could give one piece of advice for real estate, one thing.
Man, I'm ready for this one.
One thing, the number one thing that you must fucking know, do, whatever, for real estate and being successful at it, what would you say that is?
Okay, so for somebody who is taking, this big of a journey in their lives, and it could be, it's emotional ride. It's from beginning to end, and you can experience success or hardship very easily depending on who you choose to support you and through the journey. So one of the things that I would suggest everybody do who is looking to buy or sell a house is interview as many agents possible, multiple, every single person that if you think I'm the best guy for the job, make me prove it. Bring in other guys so that they can, make me look better. Quite frankly, I mean, I go on jobs, and what I do for my clients and the work that I put into my business and the things I've created to, systemize success and not leave failure as an option. really wins over people and gets them, yields the best results. So when I go on a listing appointment, I don't ever lose. So yeah, please, I'd love you guys to, whoever wants to work with me, interview, at least 2 or 3 more agents. And if you were considering working with me, but you're like, no, that guy's too goofy, or, he's way too good at jump high kicks that, he might not be good at selling houses. Interview more agents. And if I'm one of them, we'll probably take that journey to the end, because I really do put in way more work than the average agent, and my results speak for themselves because of it.
You know what's interesting? The first 2 things that stand out to me about what you just said was, one, that's an abundance mindset, right? Because you're like, please go ahead. Where a lot of people, I feel like, at least from my experiences, they'd be like, no, just come to me. And so that's the first. It's an abundance mindset that you believe in yourself enough and what you offer, and you put the work in, that other people will, like you said, quite frankly, make you look better. I use that same principle with women. So like when people say, oh, I'm always like, please go date somebody else. Go talk to another motherfucker, because I promise you, when you in your head thinking, okay, this guy's got this, he's this, and then you add that to me, I believe in my heart, more times than not, you're going to be like, yeah, this is a better motherfucker. So it's the same abundance mindset. It's the same, you put the work in, so I love what you just said, because I feel like you can use that same principle with like everything.
Absolutely.
And it's that abundance mindset thing, which is, if I feel like a lot of us in this world, how about this? I'll speak for myself. I was in such a scarcity mindset about a lot of things. And it's like, bro, it's like you said earlier, we are infinitely capable. And, and it's almost like maybe society teaches you, or I don't know what it is, or people's, that they project on you with, it's like, no, dude, we're dope as fuck. That's what the whole be dope is. I really believe that.
Absolutely, man. I rock your gear every week. Like 3 times. Cause I got
Well, I mean, shit, it's, and I hope that, so let me ask you this for me and for yourself.
Yeah.
What does the CARESNONE Nation, what does being part of the CARESNONE Nation mean to you?
What it means to me is basically what I live for, inspiring others, allowing others to be themselves, be unique, be authentic, be comfortable being vulnerable and opening up and sharing who they are and sharing their story, so that they can impact others and just create a huge, massive ripple of people, inspiring others to wake up, to heal, and to challenge themselves and commit to their own success instead of contribute more to their failures, which nothing really is a failure when you think about it, because we're as conscious beings, we're always learning. So when you fail, if you fail again, that's your choice. When I fail, I don't make the same failure again. And I'm grateful for having made that failure, because you learn from it.
Yeah, I was about to say, the failure, that's another thing. And again, I guess that goes to an abundance mindset still. But the failure, once I've been, on my path of self-development, on my path of self-introspection, failure is like actually our friend if you're learning from it.
Absolutely. Failure and pain, brother.
It's like that's your biggest data point, right? Like, so let's say you do something and you succeed. That's awesome, obviously. But I feel like you learn more from when you fuck that something up, because now you know one way to guarantee not do, whereas you wouldn't have. The failures and shit, it's like, as scary as I know that can be, I get it. But I'm telling you, if you can find a way to like embody that the failure is okay. First of all, just listen to anyone who's successful ever. All of them, 100%. They all say you're going to fail. Get over that. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, if you embrace that, your life becomes so much more infinitely better, in my opinion. You just feel better because you're like, oh, fuck ups are going to happen. Like you said, we're learning. It's like, as a kid, you're like, oh, and then you see a hot stove or something, you touch it, you fucked up, it hurts, but now you know not to touch that hot stove again.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's like, and I think it all comes from this abundance mindset, and because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to fail because I don't want to look stupid, and it's like, I mean, you can't get around that, and that's where the CARESNONE comes in, because who cares if you look stupid? Like, listen, as much as I love you, if you think that I look stupid, what does that really have to do with me?
Nothing. It has everything to do with me.
Right, and that's another thing. Killers, like, and when I mean killers, I mean people who are like on they path of being the best version of themselves. What I've gathered is they don't think that way. It's the people who ain't killing, the people who like just kind of whatever living their life. And listen, they have purpose in this world too, I guess. Hey, do you? But the people who are actually actively going after something and trying to be the best version of themselves don't look at other people like they're fucking losers, especially if they're trying.
Absolutely.
It's like, no, like for instance, the big dude at the gym. I think we talked about this at your house. When you see the 400-pound guy at the gym getting in, and obviously he's struggling, but he's in there. That motherfucker, to me, he's the winner in the whole gym. Because I personally, as a guy who was 400, I know the shit he's battling. One, his body's like, this shit is horrible.
Yeah.
And he's still doing it. Two, I know he's going through that thing to society's like, oh, he thinks that people are saying, look at this fat fuck on the thing. The gym, most of the people in the gym are like winners. Most, and don't get me wrong, but they're all like trying to better themselves.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel it, and I think it, some people feel the energy. And when I walk into a gym, and I just started working out at a gym again, it's Lifetime Fitness in Schaumburg.
Motherfucker. That's a nice ass gym.
So I actually signed up because I'm really been trying new stuff, and it's been so cool, man. I think one of the
What do you mean new stuff? Like,
so one of the messages that I want to get out to everybody is it's crazy, man. The past 2 years have forced tremendous amounts of growth upon me, and the prior 5 years before that, it was no different. So my gym flooded in January of 2019, which it's silly, but the story that behind that is I was at a spiritual ceremony with a medicine healer of mine who facilitates spiritual ceremony with ayahuasca.
Which we're going to get into.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. I'm all about the, psychedelics for healing purposes and intention. Intention is everything. So anyways, bring us back to the journey I had, the visions that I received. I woke up the next day, it was Sunday, and I told Carrie at the time, my wife, the gym's got to go. Wait, this
is before the flood?
This is Sunday before the flood on Thursday. I said, I'm going to get rid of the gym this week. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. By Wednesday, I had a full plan that I was going to implement the following day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. By Monday, I was not going to be a gym owner anymore.
What was the reason, do you mind me asking? Did you want to get out of it?
It wasn't, what I did gave my life so much fulfillment. The people I worked with and grew to love, my family, my driven family. I love all you guys. You guys are so beautiful. I think of you all the time, and I think of all the fun memories we shared and experiences. It was so wonderful. It really was. And I was very successful at it, but I didn't see, I worked too much. I didn't see my daughter. Didn't see my daughter nearly enough. There were some times where I would put her to bed on Sunday. I would work Monday from 4:30 to 8:30 p.m. She's sleeping by the time I get home. I work from Tuesday from 4:30 a.m. till 8 p.m. And maybe mom brought her by to see me for 20 minutes at the gym while I'm in the middle of coaching, right? And I come home and she's sleeping, and I'm so exhausted, and I just sit on the couch and just bawl because I'm like, I miss my daughter. She's 2 years old. I haven't seen her in 2 days. So that was rough, man. That was challenging. So I knew when I woke up.
Now was it lucrative for you at the time, the gym?
Absolutely. We were top 1% in the entire country. I was able to do some really cool things like speak at an event called Fit Ho Heroes, right? No.
Fit Ho Heroes?
No, Fit Pro.
I'm like, yeah, I need to get that shit.
Fitness professional heroes with coaches came from all over the country, and I got to close the event down with a motivational speech and just sharing my story with them and teaching them to be, authentic and to go be vulnerable and open up and truly inspire people and to give them love and to teach them how to love themselves so they can actually commit to the changes they need to do. Because if someone doesn't love themselves, why the hell would they do anything that sucks, for themselves, for something that might happen later. So you have to visualize it as something that's correct and real for you, and that's actually going to happen. You have to believe in it, because that's another thing. You know, if you don't love yourself, you're not going to work for it. And if you don't believe in your own success and it's inevitable, you're not going to work for it. So drilling that into, you know, my athletes' minds was my biggest and most worthy, you know, job ever. And why I succeed in real estate is not because, you know, any other reason, and the gym is because I just love people. I love people, and it's, you know.
Well, check this out. The reason why I asked you, was it lucrative, is because even though it was lucrative, even though you got some great benefit from it, you still was about to make a bet on yourself. You knew that you needed another route for your own personal vibe, right?
Absolutely.
So you were willing to make less money. You were willing to take that risk. Again, it all comes back to an abundance mindset. You knew you were going to figure out another way. So that was the only reason I brought that up, is because you bet on. I just made a post literally yesterday that said, and I heard a quote. The guy goes, "I'm not telling you to quit your job, but at some point you're going to have to bet on yourself,
Or not.
or not.
It's your choice.
It's your choice.
Those are your two options.
But this podcast is an entrepreneur podcast, right? So they're all about people who are trying to build something. In that situation, if you're trying to build a business, if you're going to have to eventually make a tough call. I know a lot of people. The reason why a lot of people are scared to do that is because it is. What if you don't find another job? Like, what if you don't make money? What, like, all of a sudden now, and you got kids. What if you don't? So I understand why that could be tough for someone to make that call. But it seems like, again, based on the studying I've done, all successful people, you're going to have to eventually bet on yourself and trust yourself. So that's dope that you did that. So then the gym.
So the gym flooded. I didn't know what I wanted to do thereafter for about 6 months. I built a beautiful gym in my garage, and I did Marty Rinehart coaching. It was one-on-one, just personal training. I got the chance to work with some incredible people through that stint. But I just knew I needed to find something different. So I literally I cleared my whiteboard, drew a bunch of stuff up there, called people that I know that are entrepreneurs, called people I know that own their own businesses, and I, picking their brains. Hey, is there any opportunity? What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. Just trying to see what's out there. Two of the gentlemen I spoke to were in real estate industry, and they're both of them were like, you would be amazing. And then one of them said, at the click of a button, there will be 10,000 people knowing that you're now selling real estate, that know you, trust you, and love you. He said, then
like they had a following or something.
No, me. I had a huge
your
following.
Your personal following.
Right. From the gym. I mean, my organic following, I was getting 5, 10, 15, 20, 27,000 views organically on my videos. I went back and looked at that, and I'm just like, holy crap! I didn't pay for these videos, and this
organically
organic.
Too.
It was beautiful. So, but the messaging was perfect, and it's what people needed to hear, and it helped a lot of people. So that brings me a lot of fulfillment. So it's cool. So gym was gone. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I talked to these guys. They said real estate would be great for you. I was like, okay, cool. I was literally, from the time I said, so I walked in the house, check this out. And my wife at the time, I go, hey, guess what? I figured it out. I'm going to do real estate. And she looked at me and said, that is the worst idea I've ever heard. I'm like, oh man, heart went from like my chest just pounding and full to the bottom of my feet.
You're all excited and shit about it?
I'm like, and then I thought about it. I'm like, okay, cool. And now let me go explain why, why I believe it is correct for me. And after I did that, it was better received. And, there's a lesson in that. I had a very supportive partner, when I was married, but that hurt a little bit. But once we got over that, couple 20 minutes, it was after that.
Oh, so she came around fairly quick.
Yeah, and then I was.
What was her reasoning? Did she? What was the back and forth about that at first?
Because she, because it's like, okay, now you're going into something else where you're gonna be working nights and weekends again, right? Which is true. I mean, I work nights and weekends, but what I'm creating right now and what I'm building right now is, I'm freeing. I've already been able to free myself up most nights and almost all weekends. So I don't have to work on the weekends. I sometimes choose to work on the weekends, and every week I take Wednesday off just to be with my two beautiful daughters all day long and give them my full undivided attention. So I can't be halfway in and halfway out because that's where I stay. I can't be doing those two things at a time. So I'd prefer to do when I'm not with my girls, be fully committed to my work. When I'm not when I am with them, I want to be fully committed and in their world, and give them the attention and love that they deserve.
You know what? It's funny you just used the word committed. I read something maybe 2 days ago, and there's a difference between trying and committing. And I just made a post about it. Committing is so much more difficult than trying. I feel like when people say, let me ask you this, as a person who's inspiring people and talking to people, you know, people come to you for like vibes and feel goods and life coaching type shit. Can you hear when people talk, like, can you hear the subtleties in how they're speaking to themselves?
I receive it. I feel energy. I receive energies. Words don't.
Well, no, I'm talking about like how they're talking to themselves. So for instance,
absolutely. Words are very powerful. And a lot of people say, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that. Or
even trying, I'll try.
In the past, I say, okay, cool. Well, this is not the past. Today's today. You know, everything that you've done in the past could have been, and today will be different if you choose that for yourself.
Right. It's like and some people think I'm crazy when I say this, but they'll say, "Oh, we're this." Well, you know, I'm trying to do this, and I'm like, personally, at least for me, and what works for me is I don't even acknowledge whatever the fuck was. It doesn't matter because, like you said, it literally whatever happened 30 seconds ago is gone. It's done. It happened already. So personally, what good does it do for me to even dwell on anything that already happened? My whole thing is, okay, starting right now, what are we going to do to fix this issue? Or what are we going to do to improve? So you'll never hear, as a matter of fact, that's kind of where this shirt comes from. You know, I told you a story about my grandmother, right?
Yeah.
It's so, the power of believing in yourself, like you said earlier, like when you believe in your, like, that's fucking huge. It's so powerful when, like, your words, especially like in affirmations and writing this shit down, like all. Listen, I know some people say it's energies, and it's still energy, but I really believe in the power of like how you speak to yourselves, and it's subtle sometimes. Like again, trying versus committed. I'm going to say I'm going to do it instead of saying I'm going to try to do it.
Absolutely.
Because when you try to do it, I'm not saying you can't succeed, but you're leaving yourself that doubt. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little out.
Absolutely. It's absolutely.
But when you're like, I'm going to do it or I'm committed, now you have to deliver. And that's tougher because life shit happens and shit's tough. But CARESNONE Nation, at least what I'm trying to build is we encourage that tough.
Absolutely. And everyone's in a different space in their, or a different spot in their, healing journey or their life journey. So, you could tell something to somebody 1,000 times. You can lead a horse to water. You can do all these things, but all we can do is preach, brother. All we can do is support. All we can do is, speak our true mind and loving intention. And sometimes, the messaging people take and they disinterpret, and in their minds, they're receiving something that might be an attack or might be instilling more fear, doubt, or anxiety. And one of the things that I try to do is I try to live my life with loving intention. And when you're not trying to sabotage anybody, you're not trying to hurt anybody, what is there to ever apologize for? I'm unapologetic, but I care deeply for everyone. And sometimes the messaging, people are not ready for it. So, it's everyone's at their own pace in this
That's
journey.
Something that I've been working on literally at this moment, like dealing with someone who's close to me, and then we'll have talks and shit and like deep talks about whether you want to stop drinking or whatever the issue is that you want to fix. Right. And I've been kind of killing it on my own, at least in my perspective. And then this person, is going back and forth dealing with it. And that would be frustrating to me because I'm like, dude, we have these long ass talks, like hundreds of times. You see me doing it, so you're capable, and you're still. But then what I'm learning is, like you just said, is people on their own journey, and I have to realize that my journey of self-development is 10 years long. So I've been, you know what I'm saying? I've been on this.
And the 10-year path that you're on is never going to look exactly or like feel exactly like someone else's 20-year path.
Right. Right. So, and it's just different. Like you said, you can lead the horse. So that's what I'm personally working on. And that's where I've been reading this book called, or not this book, but this thing called the Tao Te Ching. And coming from like we're all one perspective. You ever heard of the Tao Te Ching?
I'm gonna check it out now.
Yeah, it's like an Eastern philosophy. It's written. It's 81 verses. It's actually super dope. But it's helping me understand that, like, just because your path is what you believe your path is, that's just your path. And that person. Now, here's why I'm struggling with it. Because, for instance, let's say weight loss. Because I believe, like, hey, at the end of the day, you're gonna do you, and you're part of this. What makes my way better than yours? But here's where I'm having a rough time with it. Because if you say you're out of shape and you're out of weight and you're 400 something pounds, I have done the tools to lose a lot of that and feel better about myself. So maybe in this situation, you should trust me because I have been there and felt exactly what you feel, because I know, because I have, I was there. I know exactly what you went through. So, and same thing with you. Like if someone went to you for real estate, you probably have a good grasp on what to do.
Well, it's funny you say that. I actually had Michael's dad, Mac Senior. He was working with an agent. They lost probably about 6 or 7, bidding wars on houses that they wanted. And Michael called me, Junior, and said, "Hey, my dad's lost these bidding wars." And I said, "Okay, cool. Send me the next house he wants to put an offer on." So I looked at it. I told him what to tell his agent to put on the contract. They went under contract that day. So, I mean, when we're talking about the abundance mindset, did I get a paycheck for that? No. Did I put work in? Yes. But guess what? You put work into the universe and you put that kind of love into the universe. He called me back the next day. He said, "I don't know who the hell you are, but everyone that comes to me, I'm going to refer them to you and tell them you're the best. And anytime I ever transact, I'm coming to you." So, and that happened to not only to him, but another girl. They lost, I think, probably like 4 or 5 as well. And she was asking me, I was like, "Okay, cool. Next house, just send it my way." I told her exactly what to put on there. And she beat out 23 other offers. And her agent said, how did you know what to, like, all this stuff? It's because I care. I've done so much more homework, research. I've taken, about 6 designation courses just to further my grasp and knowledge, and know that when I am supporting my people who love and trust me, they're always going to win, and it's not by luck or any other reason other than we're ahead of everyone. Yeah.
I read this book called the Law of Success in 16 Lessons, and one of the lessons is always do more work for which you are paid. Mm-hmm. Always. And you've heard this, people like, "Well, that's not my job, or I don't get paid enough for this." And it's like, that's the wrong mindset, because that's a scarcity mindset, right? Again, it all comes back to abundance, because what you did, and you said, listen, you could obviously get paid for that work that you did for him. Clearly, and for these people, and you probably done it before. But look, even though you didn't get paid, but that's going to pay you so much, and not that you care fuck about the money like that, but that's going to come back to you like tenfold.
The money comes back, man. When you put love into the universe, and you support other people, and celebrate others' successes, and especially when you're creating with them, it's magical, man. The universe will pay you back tenfold. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that my whole life has been, at least in the last 10 years, but I would even argue before that, I like to be known as the biggest hype man. And you're kind of the same way. You're a hype man. You like to hype people up,
Absolutely.
When other people win and succeed selfishly, that lets me know that I can win too.
We're all selfish.
Right.
We're all selfish. I mean, as selfless as you can be, the selfishness is supporting others so that they could succeed, because it provides you fulfillment.
Right.
We are driven by our own desires in this human, existence, and we're all selfish, and we're all ourselves, and we're all so vastly dissimilar, and that's so cool, man. That's so cool.
But my point is, if that person, like, I've never had this jealous bone in my body, because what I always thought was, and I swear it, I put this on my mother's grave. When I see someone winning, like, for instance, I'll give Tavares as an example. Tavares was doing his thing at Adobe, MCing, killing it, right? On the stage, and he's got the crowd, and he's in his element.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember looking up, because I'm down with the have-nots. Nah. And I'm looking up, And I'm like, damn, he's killing it. And I was even showing love on Snap, like, man, that's a star. And, you know, and I just love that. But I kept thinking, one, it's dope that he's killing it. But two, I could do it too. Because I really believe in you shit, piss, sleep, have sex. You do eat. We all do that. What makes Donald Trump or The Rock or Kevin Hart any better than us, other than the fact that they work hard or they've been doing it longer? What's the difference?
Nothing.
Nothing.
As dissimilar as we all are, as unique to our own that each of us truly is. We're all manifestations of the same creator, and we have the same, universal wisdoms we can draw from, and we have the same, potential that's infinite. We can create anything we want here. This is a fun, experience, and everything is possible with, just believing in it and visualizing it, but also implementing strategy to get it. And
why do you think that people don't?
Fear
Of what?
Just fear of whatever. Fear of failure, fear of, maybe insecurities of people. Who am I? I used to have that when I was in the gym. Who am I to be teaching these people this, or to be putting this kind of messaging out there? Like, who am I really?
Do you ever still get those? Like, be honest.
I'm so weird, man. I just do whatever I want, and it's not even me doing it. I've taken a step back from the driver's seat a little bit. I try to just kind of sit back in my own body and kind of witness the things that I do and the things that come to my mind, and just kind of fall in love with them. And Marty Rinehart just does whatever he wants. I don't really have much control over it. I'm just along for the ride, and it's a very, very fun and ride, and it's going to be fun for a very long time.
I notice when I smoke is when I get that feeling sometimes when I'm high. Mm-hmm. I'll get the feeling of like, dude, like what, like that same thing. Like, what are you doing? Like only when I'm high. Like when I'm sober and just. But I personally like that feeling because I like the shit, right? So obviously that's something that I personally want to work on. So I like feeling that. That's kind of let's get into the psychedelics, because psychedelics, at least in my opinion, forces you to acknowledge what the fuck is going on. And you have no choice but to acknowledge it because you blast off, right? Once you in there, right? And I love that because a lot of people, we run from that and we don't want to deal with that. It's like, well, no, you got to deal with that in order to try to fix it. You got to, you got it head on.
You got to be in it. You got to be in it to be able to witness it for its true purpose and find, the silver lining, or find the direct messaging or whatever you're supposed to find out of it in order for you to evolve from it, to learn from it, but also to free yourself of the energy that's hindering your everyday life, because people are shell versions of themselves, because there's so much pain and there's so much hurt trapped inside of them that they don't even realize how heavy and how draining and how exhausting carrying all that nasty, dark, heavy energy around with them. So what the psychedelics bring to people is, and I mean, the psychedelics healing abilities are exponential. I mean, it's amazing. And in order to receive on that type of, that type of level, if you're doing it without the substance, it takes like years and years and years of practicing meditation, of practicing journaling.
Which you can get there, it just takes a long time.
You could get there, but I mean, we're humans. People, I mean, most people don't have the patience to practice and practice and practice, because when I first started meditating, and when everyone first starts meditating, they're like, man, my mind won't shut off. Like, I'm doing this wrong. It's like, no, you're not doing it wrong.
No, that's the whole idea.
Just listen, just be aware of it. Just take a step back and stop judging everything that comes to your mind, and stop judging yourself, stop judging others, and just be witness of it and accept it as what is. Because really, we got the DNA of the creator of the universe, and it's within all of us, in every single one of our cells. And we also have a human body with a human brain and a human heart. Like we have human elements too. So I mean that, it's crazy, man. We're very, very awesome beings, and
Oh, for sure,
it's
dude.
it's really cool to just kind of learn more about each specific you know thing that we just to take a step back and just witness it and just become aware of everything, because
It's funny. Hold on, let me interrupt
Yeah,
you.
go ahead.
It's funny you say that because when it comes to meditation, and I know this is, a lot of people are gonna. This is the hard part is like your brain. So this is what you think. You think you're in a room, sitting Indian style like this. That's like your first thought of what I would think my first thought of meditation is. And then your mind, and you're trying to like clear your mind, right? And people are like, "Oh, this sucks because I keep thinking about the birds chirping or the refrigerator's going off," right? From what I've been told, that's where it works. So when you're sitting there and you're trying to go clear and be present in the moment, and then your brain wanders off, which is inevitably will do, especially in the beginning. When you come back, that is where the growth is. Mm-hmm. Just like lifting a weight, you need the rep. Each time you do the rep, and then the resistance of that rep, especially if you're doing 8, 7, 8, or 9. Tell me if you agree with this. That's where you're learning it. So you have to like train your mind, and it's actually like you said, it's okay that you're gonna go away. Don't beat yourself up because you're training your brain. Just like if I'm in a weight room, it's okay that I'm not lifting 415. You just started, fool. It's okay. You don't gotta. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just like I was saying before, like with the intention thing, like everything is intention. So if you're in the gym and you're like, well, I'm trying to lose, I'm fat and I'm this and I'm that. It's a sad place to be when you shift the paradigm in a sense. Whereas now you're there saying, I'm here because I love myself. That's a game changer. Why are you committed to bettering your nutrition? Why are you committed to working out? Why are you committed to exercising and reading and doing all of these things, spiritual practices or healing, modalities? Why are you committed to all of this? I'm committed to it because I love myself and I want to be better at, being a human being so that I can thrive and I can, channel, a higher power to bring, more beautiful gifts to the world and make this place a better place.
And that's what happens, right? What I've noticed in my journey is the more, like you said early in the very beginning, the more you work on yourself and your mind, physically, financially, spiritually, all that. And once you work on that, and then if you document it, you don't necessarily have to, but you do, and I know I do. Just naturally being vulnerable, letting you know the issues you've had, putting it out there, and then showing progress, that naturally inspires other people. Yeah, without you even saying, I'm trying to inspire people. That's how my whole shit started. I didn't intentionally try, I'm going to start motivating, and so that's why. No, what happened was I was on Snapchat just being me, trying to like, oh, man, I learned this shit today. And then somebody would be like, oh, really? And I'd be like, yeah. And then that just happens more and more and more. And then it got to a point where I'm like, wait a minute. Something about me, I get off in helping, like, I don't know, I feel the best over sex, over gambling, over anything. The best feeling to me is when someone goes, Chris, because of you, I've done this. And that feels selfishly fucking phenomenal.
It does feel good when people trust you and resource you when they are at a low point in their lives. And I had a beautiful day yesterday. It was so very blessed. And it started off with me waking up to a text message, a Facebook Messenger from a friend I haven't talked to in probably about 2 or 3 years. And she spilled everything. She told me how anxious she is and how she's covered her mirrors with pillow covers because she doesn't want to look at herself in the mirror, and how she can't even hang out with friends because she believes that everyone's viewing her as a Debbie Downer and this, that, the other, how it's just depression, anxiety, all of the stuff that everyone's dealing with, especially after COVID, and she really just opened up, and I felt so blessed, so honored to be somebody that she literally said. She said, I went to your Facebook page because your post inspired me. I was looking for inspiration, and I just felt the need. I just felt like it was correct to write this message to you. I reminded her how beautiful she is, how amazing she is, and how she's overcome challenges in her life, and this is going to be no different. And I welcomed her to give me a call anytime, and we can talk about it. I haven't heard back from her, so I will, reach back out and see how she's doing. But I love the fact that people have always, reached out to me and opened up to me, and people tell me all the time that, like, oh man, when I first met you, I told you things that I never told my husband, my best friend, my dead grandma. Like actually, they're like,
you were easy to talk to, man. Like and again, as somebody who also gets that a lot, I knew that our podcast would be epic because of how the energy from that first. I could tell that you genuinely like that. You like when people's energies and vibes feel good. I felt that from instantly. We've known each other for years and shit, but that was like the first time we had like a real good talk in probably maybe ever, but definitely in a long time. So you definitely have that it of you give a fuck, you know?
I do, but I don't.
Right, like with Cares None. Right,
Cares None. Like if you're gonna judge me, or if you want to put me down, or if you want to come in and sabotage my life, my world, my people,
right?
Like we don't care.
Right,
leave us alone. It's your energy wasted, not mine.
But the paradox is, we actually give a fuck a lot. My whole thing about the Cares None for me, and I say this every podcast, but fuck it, who cares? It's literally called the Cares None Beto podcast. Is I cares none to any of that kind of shit. Like, if you're gonna judge me and you don't know who I am, then pretty much I don't give a fuck about any of that. Or if I want to be a real estate agent and you think it's dumb, whatever, I don't give a fuck, but I'm still do it. But if you come to me and you're like, man, I want to do this and I want to, then I care a lot about that. I give a. It's like you love human beings, so do I. Like, and my buddy De'Eric, who you have to meet, we love people.
Yeah,
he actually studies what do you call it when you study anthropology?
I'm not sure. Bro.
Yeah, but he legitimately studies people, like in like the histories and shit. I love people, and I get the most. An ex-girlfriend's mom told me this. I'll never forget this. She goes, "You'll never be able to experience the whole entire world," which I agree. Like, I'll never be in, probably not never, but the chances of me being in Swahulu, Africa, and on this block is probably low. But the quickest way, or the best way to get the most fulfillment of most of the earth is through other people.
Absolutely.
So, like, I can use your experiences and what you've gone through to help me better navigate my experiences.
So, yes. So the most powerful drug to me in this entire world is perspective. That doesn't belong to me. And, when we're talking about the psychedelics with the healing, when we're talking about the meditations, the things that I receive and the things that come to me during those healing sessions, it's all new. I was never aware of it before. And I always leave every ceremony and every session with new perspective. And the way I tell people, is like with the psychedelics, is your perspective is yours, mine is mine. What would happen, for us collectively, if we took both of our consciousness and all of your experience, all of your thoughts, all of mine, we put them together? Would we be better or worse at being a human being and creating a life that is meaningful? It'd
have to be better. How could it not be better?
Yeah, exactly. So that's
even if it was a shitty perspective. Who's shitty?
So that's what it's like. And when I go into these sessions or my psychedelic experiences, the intention is healing. I do a diet for about a week leading up to it, where I'm not eating anything processed, no sugar. It's all protein. It's all fats. It's all very.
So you do it legit.
So I do it legit. And then I go into it with meditating for at least a week straight, journaling, and my intention is clear, it's precise, and sometimes I receive perspective on that specifically, or sometimes Mother Ayahuasca wanted me to learn something different that would allow me to better comprehend the actual thing that I had intended at a later date with this new information and newfound discoveries that I
what do you say is the percentage of that happening? How often is it you get to talk about you get to work on the shit you want to work on, or versus what just comes?
So, cool. I was going to kind of talk about something. I'll lead into your answer here. I was going to talk. I really wanted to talk about to people that since the gym flooded, it's been a shit show. COVID happened. I got into real estate. I learned real estate faster than anyone humanly possible, and I did it because I did it. I'm happy I did it. It was fast paced. It was a lot of work, a lot of late nights. But I'm so satisfied with all of it. Got divorced, sold my house, bought a new house, and I am happier and healthier than I've been in a long time. The hardest thing that I had to adjust to was becoming okay with a reality in which I don't see my daughters every single day, but instead, half the time, which now I'm cool with, because when I see them, they get all of me.
The full Marty.
Yeah, and
right?
then when I'm not with them, I work. So it's cool. I'm able to tune in to each one.
And not around energy that wouldn't necessarily be great with the love, is because if you and your ex at the time wasn't the greatest of energies, do you necessarily want your kids around that?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, it's beautiful, man. I've been trying some new things, and some of the new things I've tried so far, and I love them all. So try new stuff, you guys. If you guys have been wanting to try some new stuff, go do it. I've been wanting to play chess for 20 years, but I haven't, because I knew as soon as I learned how to play and started learning and becoming good at it, I'd be hooked and addicted. I play 3 to 5 games of chess online every day, and it keeps my mind sharp. I love it. And I went with my girl Bree Richards to spin class on a Friday night. That's why I got my Past the Lifetime. I go to spin class every Friday morning at 9:30 a.m. with Will Diaz. He's phenomenal, inspiring, and yesterday I've been going for 6 weeks, 6 times. Yesterday was the first day that I almost made the whole workout through without stopping and sitting on my bike. I think I stopped and sat for maybe 5 minutes out of the entire 50 minutes, whereas before, I sat more than half the class the first time.
Now, what exactly is spin class?
Oh, it's insane. It's on a spin bike, and Will Diaz is on front center stage. It's got the lights, we got the beats, we got.
Also, it's like a fun.
It's fun. It's insane. We're dancing. We're going hard on our bikes. Okay.
I've seen the videos. Yeah.
We're moving, man. We're moving.
You probably burn a lot of calories in that shit too.
Oh
huh?
my God!
So it's a great workout.
It kills me. The second time I went there, I couldn't walk for 4 days. I mean, and it's really developing my leg muscles, because
Which I heard, is this true? You would know this.
What's up?
This is where testosterone comes from.
So your testosterone is released from your muscles when you rip into. I mean, you're releasing hormones all the time. Your body secretes hormones to keep up with what you're doing. Your body secretes the most hormones when you hit the biggest muscle groups in your body, and that's going to be your legs. So squatting is going to release the most hormones, which is going to have the biggest metabolic effect on your body, which is basically called hypertrophy, which is muscles rebuild, reform, reshape, bigger, stronger, leaner if you're doing it right. And that burns a lot of calories. So when you're in the gym and people are like, I want to lose weight, they're running on the treadmill. Yeah, they're burning calories, but as soon as they leave and their heart rate comes back down, they're done. When you're in the gym lifting weights, you're burning calories while you're there, and when you leave, you're burning calories for 24 to 48 hours while your body repairs and rebuilds the muscles.
I noticed that too, because I think I might have heard that from Tavares. Tavares was telling me, he goes, because I was like, I'm just going there and I'm just doing this, and he goes, do some shit with your legs first. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed, and I forgot exactly how he said. He goes, but when you're doing like leg presses and squats like that, and you're getting that, and you feel that pump, I've noticed since I've been doing that, I've been getting better results when I do that lifting first.
Absolutely.
And even my run times, because you see, I've been trying to get my run game on, and the reason I do that is because I've always thought that running is like one of the worst things on the planet, and I do it purely for discipline purpose, and I love the way I feel when I complete it, knowing what my mindset is about it. So it's like, I'm going to do it anyway. I know it's horrible, and I have such negative feelings about running for all these years from being super, super, super duper obese. And I'm like, I'm doing it anyway, and not even am I going to do it. I'm going to crack the fucking 8 minutes, and I'm going to crack the 7s, and I'm going to fucking crack the 4s. So, but what I've noticed is when I pump hard first, I'm getting better results with the running, and I feel like my body's still working, like you said, after I left. So it's totally, I agree with you. It feels, from what I can feel, it totally makes sense why you would want to get your legs going.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people neglect leg day.
Well, a lot of people neglect strength training in general when they're trying to, when their goal and their intention is fat loss, because they're like, well, muscle packs on the weight, but I mean, you can be more weight of muscle and still be a much healthier human when your body fat percentage is less. I
know, like, so people have to, like, I feel like people don't understand that, and I didn't either. You think I'm gonna just eat good and I'm gonna just run. Yeah, it's like, no, I finally get it. Like, no, the weight part is huge.
Absolutely. And a lot of girls think they're gonna bulk up when they hit the weights. That's not true either. Females don't have as much testosterone as the guys do, so they're not gonna bulk up like us. They're gonna really slim down and look sexy, look fit.
And
look
you can
tight.
see the girls at the gym be killing it.
Yeah, the girls at the gym have way better form and way better intention and way better control than all the guys. The guys are just trying to throw on heavy weights and just destroying their shoulders, and it's fun. It's fun.
I heard that. I heard this on TikTok. Fucking TikTok. I'm telling you, TikTok.
I know. I gotta get on it.
And I know it's the internet. But what you could do when you hear something, just go research it yourself and see if it's true or not. And I found a lot of people, they're giving out free value on TikTok, and then I go search it and it's true. The guy was like, guys always try to go for the big weights. He goes, and that'll get you more muscle. And this guy was cut, so obviously he knew what the fuck he was talking about. He goes, that's not true. No. He goes, go with the ones that you can control. And then I heard what the one guy goes, lifting maturity is not trying to lift the biggest, but going the biggest you can while still having the complete control.
Complete control, range of motion, form. You're doing like half squats where you're trying to lift as much weight as you can. You're actually condensing the muscle belly and creating a lot more stress on the connective tissues and the joints.
So would you suggest if there was two options,
squat deep with less weight?
So go less, then obviously go more.
Go less with control, range of motion, and work on form. Make sure you're feeling everything you're supposed to instead of the joints, instead of the shoulders. Feel the chest when you're bench pressing. People are like, oh, my destroys my shoulders. I said, okay, cool. Have you ever thought of what the bench press really is? Yeah, it's chest. That's the predominant muscle. Why are you feeling your shoulders? You're doing it wrong.
Right.
So it's just people got to be more mindful in the gym because they could do a lot more harm to their bodies than actual good.
Right. Now let me ask you this: would even if you were doing it wrong, is that still better than not going? That's a good question.
I mean, it depends. It depends. I mean, if you're doing it wrong, it could lead to injury, which could lead to more non-activity, which could lead to more depression, which could lead to more anxiety, right? That's a hard question.
Yeah, super hard.
But when you're not going, you're just going to sit on your couch and wish
it
you were going.
Then lead to depression, and then not. So yeah, it's just.
So I want to get back on the try new stuff thing.
Okay.
I'm actually really excited about the next two. Like chess has been wonderful. The spin class has been wonderful. I love it to death, and I'm going to go every Friday at 9:30. This upcoming week, I'm going to go with my boy Gil, who also, you're going to have to get him on here, man. He's got his own business. He does cosmetic tattoo. Like he'll line you up your hairline. He'll do, I told him I want to do my eyeliner eventually, so he's going to go try it out on some other people first.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that later too. The eyeliner, why that's something that I want to do.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's cool, man.
Hey, it is what it is. I'm interested.
But I'm going with him. He also was vastly unhealthy and vastly overweight, and he is now a Muay Thai belt holder from a competition. He just won the championship somewhere, and he's shredded, man. He's someone who inspires me. When I talked to him the other day and said, "Hey, man, I want to come throw with you guys. I want to come try something new. This is something that excites me. I see how it
like Muay Thai or martial arts.
Muay Thai, yeah, Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
So it's kickboxing with knees and elbows. So I'm gonna go get my ass kicked and be humbled for the next 3 months at least. I'm committing 3 months, twice a week. There.
You see how you said committing as opposed to trying?
Yeah, I'm paying up front for 3 months. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna say I don't want to do month to month. I want to do 3 months. I'm committing to twice a week for 3 months, and then after that, I'll make a decision.
Now, for the people listening and watching, do you see that? Do you see how he's betting and investing on himself? And it's not, I'm going to try, I'm going to get, because that's, a lot of people, hold on, a lot of people come to me and be like, well, I'm going to try to get in the gym, or even like with the TikTok, I know, I'm going to try. It's like, no. For the next 3 months, I'm doing this, period.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to jag my money or whatever, but at the end of the day, and I love how you made it, you did it. And here's the thing, I think it's easier for the people who continuously do it is because you now have proof that when you do things like that, it almost works every time.
Well, when I had my gym, everyone paid in full for their 12-month program, and I wasn't cheap by any means. It was over $1,000 to work with me for 12 weeks at a time, and I made everyone pay in full. And they said, "Well, can I break it down in payments?" I said, "No." Because I want you in your mind to believe that you just paid $1,100 for 12 weeks. I don't want you to believe that you just paid $300 for this month and you're going to pay $300 for that month, and that's going to give you in your mind saying, okay, well, it's $300. No, I want you to believe that you invested $1,100 and that's going to get your ass here faster than I committed $300 this month.
Let me ask you this about that specific topic about spending money on investing in yourself. I just read this, and this is a new concept for me too. Prior to that, have you spent more money investing on yourself before that?
I've probably spent $25,000 to $30,000 on my own growth, and it's bigger than that. My last my real estate coach was $13,000. So and I got that back in one deal.
Right.
So I won a deal.
So that's the point I'm bringing, and that's a new concept for me. Like when it comes to charging your prices, like when you have prices, it's going to be really hard for you to sell something for a high ticket when you've never spent money on a high ticket like that.
Everything is intention. When your intention and your focus is correct, everything that you do is correct. When my intention for the coaching program, I'm not spending money, I'm investing in myself.
See the tweak? You see that little tweak? You're still spending money both, but there's a way you word it.
Well,
I love it.
The return on the investment is exponential, because to me it's real. I don't fear failure as an option because I know who I am, I know how committed I am, and I know what I'm capable of. And the thing is, I'm not capable or better than anybody. I just know I'm aware of who I am and where we are, and I think the more we remind people how awesome they are, the more beautiful creations will be brought to this world, and the better this place will be.
For sure. And what I'm getting from that, and we'll get to your two things you want to do, but one more is you're gonna have to invest in yourself. And that comes to loving yourself. And it doesn't necessarily have to be money every time. Sometimes it just takes sitting down and reading or listen to someone. Or a book is like a huge one. Or go on YouTube, listen to podcasts, whatever. Put that time in. There's going to be that learning curve in everything that you're going to do. And you're not going to be great at it at first. But you have to go through that. And then when you put that time, like my buddy, like Tavares, I'm going to call him out. Call him out.
Call him out. Let's get him here next time.
He's not huge in... And he's not big on like reading, and lead it to him, or let it be known to him. He'll say, I have ADD, and it's hard for me to stay focused. And trust me, as a person who like never read and all that kind of shit, I get it. But I'm telling you, if you can find a way to just sit down and put that time in, it will pay you back exponentially.
It will, absolutely.
It's guaranteed. And I know what that feels like as someone who used to laugh at people. Like, why you like? I used to laugh at that shit. You're not like fuck you or anything. But I used to be like, why? You reading. I'm like, oh, if I would have known, I'd have been reading 1,000 goddamn books.
You didn't read because you knew way more than you do today.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good point. Yeah, like what the fuck? It didn't make no sense. Like now, I'm a big fan. When I read now, I'm reading self-development, self-growth books. So I'm not reading necessarily, Harry Potter books. Again, but I still think even in that, even if you read Harry Potter books, you're still read. I don't know. It just and then you like the discipline too.
Absolutely.
Just sit down and do something that takes time, and then you have to use your imagination, which is also one of the 60 laws of success. With books, you have to use your imagination.
Absolutely, it's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Oh, man. You know what I feel like right now in my life? Not to talk about me this whole goddamn podcast, but you ever seen The Matrix?
Yeah.
You remember that part where Neo had just got woken up, just took the red pill, and he's on that bed, and they're trying to he's downloading all the programs.
Oh, that's the best.
I love that part and then the guy walks in. Yeah, the guy walks in. He goes, "Hey, so how's Neo?" He goes, "Dude, he's a fucking machine." He's taking more information.
Yeah, he goes, "I know Kung Fu, Morpheus."
He goes,
he's like, show me.
No, but my point is like, that's how it feels. And then when you get addicted to that, and when you really get addicted to self introspection, and it's like a drug. That shit, I'm addicted to just, what are my limits? What am I capable of? Where can I take this before this existence is over? And I personally believe there's going to be something else. That's just my belief. But like, holy shit, I'm so much more capable. Especially as a black man, especially in white man, we're taught this kind of victims mentality, this kind of like stay in your place, and not even just people in general. They kind of just teach you that shit. It's like, dude, we are so much more capable.
Well, people teach that because that's what they've been taught to teach. I mean, where we are, I mean, people are held hostage not only by themselves but by these systems that have been put here by men for way too long, and people just live their lives in agreement to the laws of men, which things like I talk, it's funny, man. We'll talk spiritual stuff. We'll talk about this place next time when we do the when we do our little healing journey. But I don't believe time exists. I travel all over the place in my mind when I meditate and when I dream, and it's just as real to me as this very existence. Yeah, man, it's where we're at is cool, man, and people should take the red pill, and even though
take that red pill,
even though taking the red pill can, also when he woke up, it wasn't as luxurious of a ride anymore, because he became aware of all these things, and he became, when you become aware of the insides, and you're like, oh man, there's a lot of dirty, nasty stuff in there, and I got to get in there and clean all that shit out. But you're aware of it, and once you start doing the work and freeing yourself of those energies and feeling like we were born to feel, and understanding, what our purpose is in this lifetime, it's a game changer.
And here's the weird part about that is some people prefer to be in the Matrix,
to sleep,
just like in the movie. The guy's Absolutely. Like, I'd rather go back.
Hell yeah, dude! I learned this like healing, a therapy called regenerating images and memory, and I came back to the gym. I'm like, oh hell yeah, everyone's gonna want to do this. And I'm like, hey, do you want to go rewire your subconscious mind and go visit past traumas and recreate the memory so that that emotional trigger, that memory that triggers negative emotional response, we can lead it somewhere else and rewire your neurology. They're like, no, because then I think I might divorce my husband. I'm like, that's the point.
I know, yeah, right. You might need to divorce that.
Would that make your life better? Like, because if it does, I mean, of course, in order to get to where you want to be, you got to put work in, and it's hard. It's hard, but it's
to me, it's worth it though.
Yes, it's hard.
But it's so worth it. Now, let me ask you this: do you believe in maybe in the beginning taking baby steps? Because I know the way I go is I go hard. I go all body. That's just the way but it wasn't always that way. Yeah. My journey was like, well, let me try this. I remember I was a vegetarian for 6 days. Let me just see if I could do it for 6 days. Just to challenge myself. I love meat, right? Ended up going 6 months. So it's like I just started, and then all of a sudden I started, let me do, what else can I challenge myself to see? And then I just kept doing it all of a sudden to the point where now I can stop drinking. I was a drinker, man.
I remember.
Hardcore. I
remember.
Fucking beginning of the pandemic, when the pandemic first hit, I think everyone was fucking drinking crazy. I was drinking 6-7 old fashions a night. And old fashions ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when I was finally like, you know what? I'm done with that shit. For me personally,
Yeah, that's good.
But my point is, I didn't just cold turkey the booze part, but I didn't cold turkey dealing with shit. So how do you believe in baby steps versus going all in the beginning of your journey?
I believe everyone needs to take it at the correct pace for themselves, and nobody should be told their correct pace. They should sit and meditate and maybe journal or just focus on what that might be for them, because each of us is unique and is individual, and what works for you and I'm the same way. I'm balls to the wall. I dive straight into the deep end, and I don't look back. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, if this turns out to be a big flop or failure, I won't do it again.
Data point.
If I win big, like I believe I will,
much love to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's dude, you have such a powerful mind, and that's why I knew when we spoke that day, because I like to be another one of the 16 laws of success is a mastermind, right? Surrounding, or your environment. That's even better. Your environment is who you're around.
Absolutely.
Who you surround yourself with.
Yes, man. Absolutely.
I heard this quote. Tell me if you fuck with this quote. If you change your conversation, you change your compensation.
That works. That sounds about right.
If I'm coming home and I'm talking about 2K all day, hey, do you? If that's what makes you happy, fucking do it. But if you desire to be better, if whatever, it might not be the smartest thing to come home and talk about 2K for 3 hours, in my opinion, if your goal is to better yourself. Because what is that video game really?
Oh, 2K. So I'm thinking $2,000. You're talking about a basketball game.
Yeah,
or,
like Xbox.
Game. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not. I don't Xbox. I don't watch much TV unless I'm with my daughters. We watch Hey Arnold.
Right, and they're and they're children. You know what I'm saying? It's different, but like as we're adults now, you know, we're like eventually, like, if you want to get fulfillment out of this earth, you're gonna have to start making some decisions, right? And betting on yourself, right? And I really feel like your environment, again, one of the 16 laws of success, is so brutal, and sometimes it's not even out of your control, right? Sometimes it's like your parents, your neighborhood, but it's also sometimes comes down to what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're eating.
Absolutely, all of it.
That's another thing, and that's something that I battle with, is eating shitty, you know. And I've been doing good compared to my old habits, but they're not perfect yet, right? And I notice how I feel when I eat right versus when I eat like shit. And now I was kind of, maybe because I'm a little bit more mindful now, I could be more in the present and just feel what I feel now more than I used to. But it's like, no wonder you feel like shit, bro. Look what you ate yesterday.
Exactly.
Look what you ate all week. Were you on? And only you know. You all know what you're doing. Ain't nobody else looking. Yeah. Did you stop and get those 2 fucking Twinkies? You know, you just be honest to yourself. I know there's a lot of times when no one's looking, I'll grab 2 candy bars. And if I'm having a real fucked up moment, I'll grab 4. And it's like, whoa. And then and again, I'm getting better at the point now where if I have one of those fucking moments, I hop right back on the train the next day and I can get back, right? That's why I haven't gained all the way back. But then in a few days, you wonder why you don't feel as good. Get that shit in your body.
And then also don't dwell on that and say, oh, I'm a piece of shit because I did this. Be like, okay, I did that. Let's move past it.
Let's get back on the wagon.
Let's get back on the wagon. Let's remember what the intention is, what the purpose is. Because with the intention with anything, like we've talked about psychedelics, we talked about all this other stuff, but with the psychedelics, the intention is healing. The intention is receiving new perspective, and the intention is conscious and spiritual expansion. And that's what I receive all the time. A lot of people are, they've had a bad trip with psychedelics because they've taken it in the wrong setting where they're like, oh, I'm going to go party, I'm going to drink, I'm going to eat all this shitty food. Like their bodies are like
it's in a shitty state.
Toxin. Right. Their mind is toxic. Everything's in a toxic state. And the intention either doesn't exist or it's incorrect. I'm going to go get fucked up. Right.
That's the wrong way to do psychedelics. Yeah. I feel like that's like the wrong way to do psychedelics.
Well, they're like, okay, cool. The intention is to escape reality. And when you take the psychedelic, you're not escaping shit. You are going to be exposed to all the shit that, you don't want to see about yourself. And you're like, oh, man, I got to change that. I got to do that. But at the same time, one of the best experiences I got from it was I was with my medicine healer, one of my medicine healers, David, and I heard this crazy island music, like it sounded like Moana. And Moana, the Disney movie Moana with Maui, The Rock, and it's dope. It's
okay,
cool.
the Rock's one. Okay, yeah.
So my daughter, me and Maddie, my daughter watched that like every single day. And one of the things that it brought me back to like my visions that I was receiving was us in the living room, and she's saying, "Daddy, you're Maui." You're Maui. So she's calling me Maui, and he's a demigod, and he's huge, and he's magical, he's a demigod. And I go, and who are you, Moana? And she goes, no, Daddy, I'm Maddie. So she's she's thinking she's thinking I'm a demigod, and this is her universe. This is how she views me, and it hurt me, pain. Like deep pain and sorrow that I didn't spend enough time in her universe, and I didn't take the time to realize that she views me as a demigod and how special our experiences are to her in her universe. And I was like, I don't go to her universe. I don't be in her universe enough. So then I got extreme gratitude that I was now aware of something that I wasn't before. and then it just pure bliss flooded my entire body, and being that was going to be a thing of the past. So so the intention's always there. It's always, it's intention with everything, in my opinion, is what contributes to, experiences being worthy of who we truly are or not.
Let me ask you this. Tell me if you agree with this when it comes to psychedelics and how to explain to someone how it might feel or what to expect. I always say when you blast off, when you take this, and assuming you do this the correct set and setting, hopefully you're with someone who understands, who's done it. Like, for instance, if I never done it, I would want to do someone who has done it with that perspective of let's grow.
Yeah.
If you go to like the fucking festivals, whatever, that's just not personally what I would do. But here's what I say, what it feels like. It's like you're getting to a helicopter and now you're getting high, right? So now you're and then you let's say you're the big New York City, Chicago, whatever. And now you have the bird's eye view, and the city is your life. Mm-hmm. And now you see it like, whoa, you see that burning building over there. Ooh. You see, oh shit, there's a robbery over there. Somebody's getting raped. My point is, you're seeing the shit, but you're seeing the beautiful city and how beautiful. So you see all of it, but you have no choice. You can't necessarily get to it at that moment, but now you're just aware.
You're just watching a movie. The movie's playing, and whatever show.
You're in a helicopter, just like in a real helicopter. Yeah. You're in that bitch, and you get to see, but you get to see it from that bird's eye view. And it's so much more clear of like, whoa, I got some shit to work on. That's how I look at it. So would you agree with that?
Yeah, and when people are not ready to see that, or people are not ready to be aware of that, that's when they have a negative experience, and they're like, get me the fuck out of here.
And being a control freak. So like when you blast off, you have to let go.
Let go. I'd be like, okay, yeah, I was at a music festival, and I love my music festivals, man. They're my spot. You were talking about, this guy being in his element. That's when I'm in my element. That's when I'm at, I love being outside, the music. Sometimes I'll, microdose psychedelics, always, let's be honest, to enhance the experience. And I'll tell you what, I dance and I smile and I receive love.
You're probably still doing it with the intention to still have some growth, though, ain't you?
Experience, yes. Experience.
You're not doing it to make your turn up better necessarily.
No. I'm doing it to bring me to a deeper, more profound level of connection to my true self and my higher power. And become aware of things that I necessarily wouldn't be aware of because we have the human brain, so it connects me to my soul. It takes me away from the human aspect.
Now, could you have done that in the beginning?
What's that?
Like when you first started with psychedelics, could you have gone to a festival and had the same experience?
No.
So you had to like kind of grow into that mindset that, okay, now I'm ready to.
Yeah.
Because it can get ugly when you're dealing with other people's energies and shit. Like I could see if you're not ready for that, it could be like, whoa, and then that's when you start seeing people weird faces.
And then all the time too, with when I used to smoke weed, I wasn't ready for it because I wasn't okay with myself. And what these natural substances do, which I call medicine, like marijuana and psychedelic mushrooms, they really enhance things, and they amplify things. So if you're anxious and you're depressed, they're going to amplify that. If you're living with intention and really focused on purpose, it'll amplify that. So your convictions will be either proven to be more correct to you and absolute, or they'll be proven wrong. And
or like you can maybe tweak some shit.
Or you can tweak some shit.
Right.
There's no, it's endless possibilities. I wanted to talk about
you have one more, right?
The last thing, and it's so cool, man. I did online dating, right? And,
I
yeah,
never.
Right,
hey.
So I did online dating, and I almost gave up real quick because I'm thinking, I was being impatient. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna fall in love. This is gonna be so great, and I'm just gonna be myself. I was like, this sucks. Like, all people want to do is text, and when we talk, you're like, no, the girls want yes or no answers. They don't want to hear about your day, and they don't want you to ask about their day. I'm like, well, that's not who I am. So what I did actually was, after getting really discouraged with the online dating, is I shifted my paradigm, my thought, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let it sit. I deleted the apps off my phone, and I checked on my laptop once in a while, maybe once or twice a week. and I fell in love, recently, and it's so cool. So trying something new, I tried that, and my mind was not in the correct spot when I first started it because I had expectations, which, who the hell are we to expect anything? But I went to a different place in my mind, and what happened was, I got, on Tinder, swiped left, right? Swiped left by the most beautiful, the most
Isn't
loving.
it right?
Left.
Left? I thought left was bad.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's swiped right.
She swiped the right way, brother.
Yeah, she swiped right.
So we.
Hey, look at you! I caught that
right away. I mean, I read her bio, and I fell in love with her hard as soon as I read. I'm like, oh my god, this I never thought I'd meet anyone who's as weird as I am, as far as being spiritual, being treating the body like a temple, and just
wait. And you thought you would never find that?
Yeah, man.
That's scarcity.
I passionately love and I will not settle in this lifetime to not be loved at the love energy that I have, which is super high and unnatural, let's say.
Or maybe it's natural and we've all suppressed it, maybe.
But she's so beautiful. She accepts me for who I am, and flaws and everything, and she inspires me to be so much better. And I literally, this has been 2 weeks. But since meeting her, my meditations are better. My workouts in the gym are better, and some of the things, and literally, like you said, you don't drink. Before I even knew that she didn't drink, I literally told her on the phone. I said, I made up the decision. Like, I'm not going to drink right now. And I met with friends yesterday, and it felt so good. So it was a spontaneous meeting. I was going to get my beard done for this weekend.
Nice beard, by the way.
Thank you.
That shit is beautiful.
And I was walking downtown Arlington Heights. I saw some agents I know, some real estate agents, and they're like, "Come take a seat with us. Come have a drink." And I felt great saying, "I don't drink, but let me walk to my car. I'll go get one of my THC gummies, and I'll join you guys for a conversation." That came out and felt so correct. And I've been doing things and conforming to this way of life by human standards that I don't typically agree with. And she doesn't do shit that she doesn't agree with. And I love her for that. And she's loves unconditionally everything and everyone. She's a tree hugger. She talks to the trees. And when I asked her what the tree was telling her, she said, "You wouldn't understand tree language if I tried to explain it to you." I'm like, okay, that's dope. I'm like, I'm not going to push past that and pretend that, oh, why not?
Well, were you interested in knowing though, like for real, genuinely?
No, I just took it. Like I said, okay, cool, that's fine. Like I maybe one day I will. It's just.
Let me ask you this: what made you really want to know the answer to that? What made you want to know what the trees were telling you?
I ask
just probing questions.
I ask questions.
Okay.
I don't
just for the art of learning.
I'm curious. I'm curious about people, and then some people like why are you asking who my heroes are? Why are you asking what my passions are? Why are you asking all these things about me? I'm like, I'm just a curious person. Sorry.
See, and I actually believe you. And the reason I'm bringing, and sorry to interrupt you, is because a lot of dudes, they ask those questions without that real intention to really understand and know. A lot of dudes will ask those kind of questions just to, this is what she wants to hear, and this might be the quickest way for me to fuck her. So I think that I actually believe you because of how you treated me when we were talking recently. I think you genuinely want to get experiences like we talked about earlier. Like, you genuinely like people, and my perspective could potentially help yours or not, but either way, you're getting something from it. So I believe you when you say you legitimately just wanted to just have some question and conversation. But I think a lot of guys, in my opinion, and from my experience, they're just trying to fuck her. So, I don't want to go to the botanical gardens, and a lot of guys will do it anyway because that might be what they believe is the quickest way to. And I feel like women don't necessarily like that. Like, don't do what you don't want to do. I really believe that. Like,
absolutely.
If she, and so I think that if you would have been trying to say, well, I really want to know about these trees, I really want to know what's going on, and you really didn't. Women have intuition. Like, I'd be like, they truly have it better than we do, in my opinion. And then they'll be like, that's not even who you, like, why are you trying to be something that you're not? For what? You putting me on this pedestal. And I think that the fact that you didn't push it is almost respectful. It's like, all right, you don't want to talk about it? Cool. We'll go to the next thing. So I commend you on that.
So I mean, fireworks right off the gate, right, for both of us. And again, she's the most beautiful, kind, loving human I know, and she accepts me, which I love. That's all I need. I need love. I need acceptance. That's all I need. It's simple.
Especially because you give so much of it.
And she happens to be in a polyamorous relationship, and so she gets hit up by a lot of guys saying, "Hey, let's go to the gym," and these guys are thinking like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have a threesome with her and her girlfriend, right?"
Oh, so it's a girl?
No, it's not. It's not a girl. So I went into it openly, and from what she read and our conversations we had, and talking on the phone, and then when we first met, I just knew it right off the bat. I'm in love with this girl, and she's gonna be in my life forever. And I shared that with her. I mean, I don't hold back. It was so cool. But anyways, like I don't even know where the hell I'm going with this. But I went in it open-hearted, knowing that it could be a guy, knowing it could be a girl, knowing that
you didn't know.
So after meeting her the first time, I kind of mentally prepared myself. I'm like, Marty, I mean, you're in love. Love is love, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, thinking, I don't think there's anything that this girl could tell me, or this girl can, whip out of her shorts that'll scare me away, right?
What if she said, you know what, I don't want to deal with you no more?
Then I would have accepted that and cried and played chess and ate a lot of ice cream. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I would have said
moose tracks, motherfucker.
What's supposed to happen always does, man. And I don't believe that'll ever happen. I don't. But she's been in a partnership with another male for 6 years, and she told me that while we were hanging out one night, and I said, that's fine. That's perfect. I don't know much about, this, but I'm willing to learn and try something new because I know what I feel for you is correct to me.
Which actually feels more like actual love. What I believe people's definition of love now is attachment, right? So in which I'm trying to get free from that feeling of it being attached to something. And it's harder, easier said than done. But a lot of people can't do that. Especially men. No, I'm not. I would say people in general. Is because are you really in love with that person, or are you in love with how they make you feel?
We are selfish beings, my friend.
That's what I'm saying. But for instance, Steve, my best friend, there's nothing on this planet that he could tell me that he wants to do that I wouldn't encourage.
Well, when you're resourcing others for your own happiness or your own internal anything, that's where people go wrong. What this individual is giving me new light. I learned something new every time I talk to her. I am inspired to be better than I am, and to stop trying to conform and just be my true, authentic self. I drank enough for 3 lifetimes alcohol. I don't need any more. But I mean, I'm not saying that I won't do it ever again. But if I do, it'll be my choice. But today I don't need it. And that's the first time I've never said I'm not going to drink for now and the unforeseeable future. It feels good.
Awesome, bro.
Feels good.
It's fucking. I'm about to be on a year, bro. It's crazy how much that shit is like. Personally,
I come to your wedding or I come to your party, I'll probably be eating my weed and maybe one mushroom tip just to give me a little euphoria. But I'm not gonna. It's the alcohol, the sugar, man. That's the real drug, the sugar. But this girl, she was with her partner yesterday night. And instead of
last night,
and then we have a date tonight. I'm so excited. It's going to be
with
so
both
beautiful.
Or just her.
Just her. We're not. He doesn't want to meet me. So I'm cool. I'm good with whatever.
You'd be cool meeting him. Right?
I'd be cool meeting him. Absolutely. I would commend him for taking care of such a beautiful girl for such a long time, and thank him for that. But she was there, and I instead of being in my mind and be like, fuck, like she's with someone else and this and that, bro, she was with me the whole time. When I clean my house, I like to smoke a little bit. When I smoke weed, I like to clean. I love to clean, but I also love to dance. So so it takes me twice as long to clean. It takes me twice as long to clean because I'm dancing too. So I was literally dancing in my bathroom, eyes open, and she was in the room with me dancing with me. And it was a beautiful experience. I thanked her this morning for the incredible time we shared last night. Even though she was with her other partner, she was still with me in spirit, and it was a beautiful experience, and I can't wait to dance with her tonight.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to sound like, you know me, I'm never a Debbie Downer. I do want to just bring caution to the wind, because you've already made a hint at this, you don't get, in my opinion, who the fuck am I? Just some guy living this existence. But when you're putting all of your umph into that, because it seems like you're getting more value from this as a person. It seems like this situation is literally benefiting you, which is awesome.
I'm learning every day, every time I talk to her.
Which is fucking fantastic.
And it makes me love her more, and it makes me love myself more.
What happens? So all I'm saying is just be careful and weary of, because you can't control anyone else, right? Mm-hmm. What if one day she's like, you know what? I don't like that tattoo. Just, you don't know that. Chances are she might not. Chances are she probably won't. But what if she does? Are you not still going to try to continue to be the best version of yourself? You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. I'm not saying you will, but just make sure, in my opinion, to make sure that you're with her with this ride. She's not your ride.
She's going to be with me for the rest of this lifetime.
What if she doesn't want that, though?
Then she can go be...
I'm not saying that's happened.
Then she can go be physically elsewhere, but she was physically elsewhere last night, and we shared a wonderful experience. So, whatever way, I'm here to support and love everyone who will receive it in the best way that makes sense for them and that will provide their life more fulfillment. And if she doesn't want to receive it any longer, then that makes her life better. And, I'll find, someone else.
And I'm not, like I said, I don't want to be that guy who's like raining on your parade. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, this is still, in your perspective, in your view, it's still Marty's life. And I know, as a person who, when I had that same feeling before, and it was like, whoa, and that love shit is powerful. That shit is real good. Especially when when they're helping you be a better version, like what's better than that?
So some of the things that we agree upon, and let me tell you some cool, dope stuff. We both agree that time doesn't exist. So what's the difference between me knowing, when you don't believe in something? What's the difference between me knowing somebody for 20 years or 2 weeks? If the soul bond and the love is truer than anything you felt before. Some of the universal signals that we got, we met on Wednesday. I think we met on Wednesday. But that Monday, before we met, we started talking on Tuesday. We met on Wednesday. That Monday, we didn't even know we saw each other, but we saw each other at Lifetime Fitness, and we were working out 3 benches down from one another. I saw her, she saw me, and when I go to the gym, I'm in my own element. Like, in between each set, I got my headphones on, I'm jamming. I'm dancing. I'm dancing. She's like, and so she goes, I don't remember that it was you, but I remember looking at someone dancing a few, like close to me, and looking up at the ceiling and just laughing. What I remember from her was she was in the zone. Like she works out with intention, like she's in it, and completely in it. She's nowhere else but there. And that's what's so cool about her. She's completely present everywhere she goes. So that's something that I want to continue to work on too. So, just being around her and being around somebody who's has had so much different experience, but is at the same like spiritual, intellectual, and journey and has done a lot of healing. Like I want to know everything because
you can learn from it, right?
So we saw each other at the gym. We didn't know that until midway through our date. I'm reading a book. It's called the Tibetan Book of the Dead, right?
Okay.
So I'm reading this book. She's reading the Tibetan Book of the Living and Dying, which I ordered. Also I ordered these
that's
together.
Interesting. Yeah,
and this one showed up on our first date, like when she came to meet my cats at the house, and it showed up. I opened it. She's like, I'm reading that book. I'm like, no way, I'm reading the other one. So that happened, and it's just like there's just these little these signs that the universe is providing. That it's just like it's my intuition. I wrote in my journal, my intuition screaming at me, and something I wrote down, that I showed her is like I was telling you, like her love felt like free, loving, unconditional, correct, real, and I felt it right away, and I know I felt it because I know it. It's my love. It's the love I give, and like I'm a fucking professional at it because I live it and I'm in it all the time. So I knew it, and to me it's authentic. It feels like so cool, and honestly, I feel like everyone deserves to be loved passionately, and everyone deserves to be loved on a level that is infinite. And unfortunately, people aren't giving infinite love because they're afraid of getting hurt because people have been hurt a lot.
Yeah, and I would argue that works with someone who is already there. I do believe if someone is not on that level that she has, clearly if she has enough love to genuinely love multiple people without because I would imagine if you had someone else, she would be okay with that too.
She encouraged me. She said, "Yeah,
right.
Go have fun."
So that's my point. You have to, in order for that to work, in order for what you have to work, that person has to be on that same. And what I mean by work is for it to have longevity. You can love it the way you want to love, and if they don't, that doesn't, you still love that way. But my point is she has that acceptance, like that true acceptance, and you have that true acceptance. Then I believe it works. But I don't think most people. I think what most people's idea of real love is, to me, is attachment and not actual, like, unconditional love.
They're conforming to the agreements that they agreed to through the eyes of people that have been here before them. You get married to one person, you buy a house with a white picket fence, you have 3 kids, you do this. Yeah, exactly. So being different and being unique and being like unforgivingly bold in yourself,
I like that.
That's what I'm committed to. And that's what I'm committed to inspiring others to do, because I don't want to meet the fake version of anybody. I want to meet the true, authentic version.
You don't want
everybody.
The representative.
No, that's not real.
Yeah,
that doesn't.
Give me the fucking owner. I want the owner.
It's a lie, brother. But yeah, man, it's so cool, man. I'm so excited about just everything that I've been blessed with. There's so many blessings in this life, man, and you're one of them. I can't wait to continue.
Hey, I feel that way too, man. We'll definitely do this again. Hey, so I always do this each episode. How long do you think we've been talking?
We've been talking for an hour and 21 minutes.
Hour 31. So
Okay.
You were close.
So I
you got something else?
I got something for you, bro.
Come on,
I always
baby.
come prepared, bro.
Come on.
So I'm gonna. I already told you. I'm gonna market the hell out of this podcast, right? And I have some things I want to do with you. I'm eventually gonna snap on Hamilton. I'm gonna rap the whole, like, my favorite scenes of Hamilton, every character, and I want to have Hunter watch it for the first time on camera.
Like in character?
In character.
I'll do it. Fuck it.
So
I swear to God, I shit you that seems like a synchronicity. I swear to God on my soul, when you were walking in, I'm like, I wonder if I should do this as Hunter. I swear to God, I was thinking that, and I didn't do it.
Hey, dude,
because I didn't want to be in character the whole time. I wanted to actually have a real conversation. So maybe the next time.
Why don't we each bring a character to the next one?
Have you ever been in character for an hour and a half?
I got some characters. No, let's do like, maybe we'll do 5-minute exchanges in different characters.
Okay, because I'm like, hour and a half characters, tough.
But I also want to do the sketch comedy called Stupid Humans that I've been talking about with my brother for years. And basically, Stupid Humans is
As Hunter?
No. Just check this out. So and some other guys I'm thinking of. A buddy of mine, his name's Sam Ball. He's hilarious. I receive these things, like, they just come to me, and I know who's supposed to be involved. And you, my brother, Sam Ball, and it's called Stupid Humans. STOOPID. Humans, and it's basically making fun of the stereotypes, like kind of stereotyping the stereotype, and hopefully bringing awareness to those stereotypes of what people think about them, and do it in like a way that's funny, I think of Dave Chappelle. And the message at the end is be like, yo, guys, relax. Like, we're all just stupid humans. We're all here together. Let's be here. Stop acting the way that, people think you're supposed to act, and how you think you're supposed to act, and just be loving and free, and embrace your change, and embrace everybody. And
have you heard me talk about De'Eric, or seen De'Eric, my co-host on here?
No. I saw some. I watched some of your shows. I'm not sure who I was watching.
He's like the epitome of, I'm going to do me unapologetically, with also having that uber love. He's the one I was talking about who loves people too. Listen, I know you have your vision. I would strongly suggest you consider this guy, because he's like, when you saying all of that, I'm like, Derek's
Hey,
part of that too.
collaboration, man. Collaboration at its finest. Bring your
It's a
people to the
mastermind,
party.
baby.
I'll
Let's
bring
do
my
it.
people to
Let's
the
do
party.
it,
And
baby.
let's create some
Yeah,
shit,
I'm gonna get
man.
him involved, and he's a content creator too, so it's perfect. And he's going to school for it, so it's even more perfect. I'm down.
Yeah,
that sounds like a great idea. I'm down. I'm 100%. You know, I'm not the kind of people do. A lot of people do this. That ain't me. So I'm down. I'm in 100%. Just roll me when to come. I'll bring camera. I'll bring whatever I got to bring.
We'll start. Let's jump on it. We'll jump. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll talk about it in a little bit how we can get started. But
show people where they could tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on social media, Marty Rinehart, Marty. Rinehart is Rinehart. Facebook is my preferred platform. I'm also on Instagram. I repurpose everything I create as far as content on my business page, which I don't really direct traffic, and LinkedIn. If you guys, you can find me. Literally, you can find me anywhere. I don't even give out my business cards anymore. I give out affirmation cards to people, and then when they ask how they could find me, I say, just go online. I'm there. I make a lot of noise.
See, I have business cards that on the front it just says CARESNONE. It's a lifestyle brand, so it doesn't really like. For instance, I was wearing the Google version of my Be Dope. And a lady was like, "Oh, that's an awesome shirt," which is such a cool feeling. Like, that's a dope shirt. Right? And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And I was like, "Wait a minute, that's the opportunity to give it." So I was like, "Here, boom." She goes, "What's?" I'm like, "Whenever you're on the toilet, or whatever, just give it. It is what it is." So I like how you get affirmation cards. Like what is that?
They're Louis May affirmation cards. They're literally on the front. It'll say. Oh man, I can't even think of one right now. Maybe I have one in one of these books. I don't know. They're dope, man. They got beautiful illustrations on them. They have.
Are they all different?
They're all different.
Okay.
They're all different. Like
I could buy like 100 of them.
They come in packets of 64. I give them out all.
What is
the
the pricing on like a packet of them?
$16.
Okay.
So I pay $30 and I get like 100, maybe 100 of them,
yeah.
or 130 of them. And I literally just hand them out, and they're gifts to people. People appreciate them, and it's always the correct one that someone gets. They're like, "This is the perfect one for me today." And I said,
and that's just the one you just randomly giving them. So you're not even.
I don't even pick. The universe picks, and the universe is never wrong, brother.
Ever.
Never.
Wow, that's interesting. I'm gonna look into it because that because what that's offering is value too. Like. I believe that affirmations are like, you should see my room. I have nothing but affirmations all over my wall.
I did see your room.
Right.
I'm excited to go read them if you allow me to.
I don't give a fuck. Go ahead. But that would maybe on the business cards to also put like an affirmation. But I like the fact that it's random too. So maybe give people two things. Or maybe there's a way to. You got me thinking. Look at you, got me thinking.
So one of the things that I believe in is whenever you are doing something for somebody when you're in the mindset of service before self, providing value is not reminding somebody of what you do as a profession. Providing value is gifting somebody your full undivided attention and maybe giving them something that's going to make their day better versus dropping in a cheesy line like, "Hey, by the way, if you know anyone who's buying or selling a house, within the next 6 months, send them my way." Like that to me devalues the exchange and makes it about you and not about them. And who cares about us? Fucking nobody, right?
I had to change my perspective on what I was doing with CARESNONE because, and this is through learning with marketing and shit like that, right? Instead of trying to sell, I have a shirt to buy. That's why I'm more into the CARESNONE Nation. I like the community aspect of it. We just so happen to sell clothing on the back end. You see what I'm saying? I believe that if you claim to be, I would imagine anyone who buys anything from me or wears anything from me or even watches anything from me or just listens to anything from me, you're part of the CARESNONE Nation.
Impact. You're focused on the impact over the income.
Which is so much more gratifying. And I believe in abundance again. I think the thesis of this fucking podcast is abundance, but it's going to come back. It's going to come back. So always. just spread the love because I give a fuck more. Who gives a fuck about the $10, $15 profit I make on something if they're not really getting some real value? Because at the end of the day, I can get something from them. Let's say someone's part of the CARESNONE Nation, right? And they've just crushed it. They did something. I just ran a 5K for the first time. That's inspiring to me. Selfishly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, damn. So one, it's like, damn, especially if they give the CARESNONE Nation the credit for helping them get there. That's like, oh man, and that makes me go harder for me, and then for others, and it's like there's just energy ball of fucking
ride the wave, brother. You're riding a beautiful wave, my friend. Keep riding it.
Yeah, so I like what the affirmation, because then you're giving them a little piece of, because I don't know if my website's set up or the card's set up where I want to give them more value, and how do I do that from the site? I don't know. I have my little what it means. And then I have my little snippet of my story, which I believe is inspiring, but I want to give more.
Maybe every time you give the business card out, tell them the thing you love most about them, verbally, to their face. Say, this is what I love most about you. Here's my card.
So even in a situation where it's quick,
or you could put on the back what I love most about you and write it in there and hand it to them. Hand it in to them. Because think about it.
Well, I don't want it to be fake though. So what if I, like that girl who just walking out the gas station?
Say what I love most about you, because I don't know who you are, is your booty. Thank you for working for squatting.
And that's real talk. And I would bet you that would have more lasting impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or like, let's say she had a nice shirt, or her car was dope.
Well,
or
I mean, you got to feel people out. You can't just tell a random stranger these days, like, hey, nice butt, sweetheart. Yeah. Like,
look at that ass. It didn't give you like,
hey, I always, with whenever I give this out, because I don't like to make the exchange about me. I like to say what I love most about you, and since I don't know you, I love your blouse. It's beautiful.
Right. And I really believe, and listen, not that you're doing it with this intention, but that would garner better results for them to actually click on the site.
Absolutely.
Because again, you're leading with value, and even if they don't get anything, now they're part of the nation. Now they're aware of the movement, which could potentially, then one day, let's say, oh, I went on a website, cool, and then 10 years from now,
you know what else you could do? You could take a selfie with that person and tag them with the card saying what you love most about them, and encourage other people to chime in and say what they love most about them, and then interact with every single person who comments.
That's fucking marketing marketing.
I'm the best digital marketer, man.
Like that's definitely
in the real estate game, brother.
That's fucking marketing for sure. And then it's genuine, and they don't even have to buy shit.
It's genuine, and honestly, that type of marketing yourself and your brand comes so naturally to me, and I love talking to people that I love, and I love giving my love to the people that I love, and I receive so much gratitude for everyone. Like almost, I would say 85% of the people I'm friends with on Facebook, I write all their birthdays down and I send happy birthday video messages, because I'm just trying to make people feel special, loved, seen, as if they give them value, make them feel valuable. And that's the value I like to give, is bringing them up and showing them how much value they possess within themselves.
Which is so true, man. We're so much more capable. You can find me, speaking of the devil, CARESNONE.com.
Yeah, buddy.
That has links to everything. Chris at Chris CARESNONE on all platforms: TikTok, IG, Snapchat, Instagram. Not LinkedIn. I need to step my LinkedIn game up, at least for CARESNONE. You can find me there. I want to say thank you for the people who supported me, because it's shocking how many people support you, and then people that you don't even, like you said, you had that girl who hit you up the other day. You haven't talked to her in years, but she's clearly fucking with you.
I had no idea that she's been following along with my posts and my journey, and I do share my struggles. I do share successes. I do share real shit, and I give love and gratitude, and I thank everybody who supports me, because the people who are interacting with me online, and the people that, like, when I call them, they answer their phones, or when I text or send them video messages, they tell me how it made their day, and oh my God, you're special to me as well. That is what fuels me. That's what drives me.
You're killing it, bro, and it's very obvious. It's very evident. I'm an energies guys. We've been talking about to ad nauseum. Is that how you say it? Ad nauseum? Ab-nauseum? I always fuck that word up.
I don't even know what you're trying to say.
I feel it. I feel the energy, and it feels way more genuine than like the majority of people that you come across. And not saying other people aren't genuine, but I really feel it from you. Right. And being unapologetically Marty, I heard a quote. I know we're going to end it soon, but I heard this quote once that said, "Be yourself so much that you get paid for it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a great quote.
And then Ram Dass, I'll throw one quote out before we quit. He's one of my heroes. He was so amazing, so spiritual, so free,
Yeah,
and so loving.
yeah, he's killing.
No, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead, but he's still killing it. Even today, he's still got new content and stuff coming out with people who are taking his purpose and continuing it. But he says, this world, people make this agreement, and the agreement is, and it's not, I don't know the words verbatim, but it's, I will pretend you are who you believe you are, so long as you pretend that I am who I believe I am. So that to me speaks fear and unauthenticity, and being an authentic person and being vulnerable and opening up. I don't believe that's what people want in this life. People want authenticity. People want vulnerability. People want to connect with what is real. And I encourage everyone to be real, tell your story, and inspire. Because if you inspire one person or 1,000 and thousands and millions of people, it doesn't matter.
And it trickles down.
Because that one person could be the next Tony Robbins and inspire millions. And it wouldn't have happened without you telling your story and, not feeling like your story needs to be heard, because someone needs to hear
What
your
did
story.
Tupac said it best? I might not be the one who changed the world, but I want to be the one who inspires the person that could potentially change the world.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was dope. Is that that dude Ram Dass, the Bhagavad? How you say it? Bhagavad Gita? How you say it?
He's a Baba. He's a spiritual guru, and
But there's a book that they all kind of read from.
Be Here Now.
Okay, so I'm thinking of a different thing then.
Yeah.
The Bhagavad Gita or some shit. Anyways, bro, this has been a great talk.
It's been real.
We're definitely gonna do another one, and we're gonna do the fucking spirit. Then we have another one after we do the medicine.
I'm gonna show you what's up, man. We're gonna do a whole ceremony.
If you didn't have to get out of here, we could have did it, or like last night was just. It wasn't good.
No, it wasn't happening. It wasn't the right time. This was perfect.
So again, thank y'all. I appreciate it. And as always, CARESNONE.
Peace out, guys. Thank you.
Nigga.
Thank you, brother.